Now, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to compensate those who have fallen victim to military airstrikes in Nigeria in the past 7 years. In a statement, Falana warned that the government will be sued before a federal high court if the demand is unmet. Falana said the Nigeria Air Force and Army have between March 2014 and December 2023 dropped bombs which have claimed the lives of hundreds in some states in the northern part of the country. Just last week, at least 80 people were killed in an accidental bombing in Kaduna State. Joining me now is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Oba Maduabuchi. Good to see you and thanks for your time.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes. Quickly here, let's start by talking about what's at play here. Compensation, accident and bombing, and if you look at what a lot of people are saying now, is one too many, to the extent that people are asking questions about the back and forth of the fight, against insurgency and banditry. Help us make sense. First, our condolences to the families. It's a painful one. But again, how well can this first be averted before we start talking about compensation?
Well, like you said, it's a very terrible occurrence. Very, very regrettable and very unfortunate. I mean, when people talk of compensation, I ask them, how does it bring back even a finger that one lost? Compensation, what is compensation? The proper thing is for us to, like you said, say, why does this thing happen? Why from 2014 to date, we had about 6 of such incidents. And every time they tell us the same story, it was a mistake. When you keep doing one thing in a particular way, it becomes a custom. That is the way you people operate. The military cannot tell us that they were chasing terrorists and didn't know when terrorists and people who are celebrating a Muslim festival were mixed up. Then they were not chasing them. If you are chasing them, you should be seeing them. You know where they are, you know where they have been to, and if there was ground intelligence, they would have told you. How will you not know that there was a Muslim festival going on? How is it possible? And you say you did, they were recognized. How? I mean, I just don't understand it. So it is absolute negligence as far as Oba I'm concerned. That is pure negligence. And in better climes, the Chief of Army Staff would have gone. The Chief of Air Staff would have gone. And that's what I want the President to do, fire them. Because there's nothing you do that can bring back 120-something people who are dead. They are dead and they are dead. The most painful thing about that is that it's so permanent. Once it happens, it has happened.
Because, Maduabuchi, you raise a very important point here. For areas where we have insurgency, definitely there must be some kind of intelligence gathering, to the extent that even if it's a wedding, any big gathering, you should have an idea of such big gathering happening as to the kind of gathering that was taking place on that day. So now your colleague is also asking for compensation, even though I know you still think that compensation can bring back the dead. But is it enough to help fix the gap which perhaps the military and the Air Force in this case is experiencing? Since 2014, there was the Ran almost killing or massacre in Ran village as well.
No, my little brother Silk, Femi Falana, very, very erudite human being, well known all over, has said in his opinion that in 2 weeks' time, if you don't, he's going to the Federal High Court. Of course, he's entitled to go to court. But me, as another senior advocate, I will ask myself, why am I going to court to do? Who briefed me? What am I going to claim? If I say I'm claiming for the people who are negligently killed, I cannot go to the Federal High Court. As he said, the Federal High Court does not entertain cases of negligence, contract. They don't do that. If you say fundamental right to life, they are dead. Are you asking the court to say that they are entitled to be alive? Or, I mean, so the only people that can come to court are the dependents of those who died. Unless they are the people who asked my friend Falano to go to court, I do not see how he can go to court, particularly go to the Federal High Court to claim that people were negligently killed by bombing through the negligence of the Air Force and the Army. So I do not see, I don't see how it will fly.
But again, these are helpless people, everyday Nigerian
Yes.
people, ordinarily who are voiceless, people who hardly speak.
They're not voiceless.
No, because we're talking about people that can speak on their behalf. Within the Islamic circle, some are already advocating, because that's what they call idaya, more like compensation. You asked about compensation, and there are a certain amount that you must pay for individuals. So who speaks if we're saying that the Federal High Court can't entertain what Mr. Falano is about to do in the next 2 weeks?
Well, let me start by saying that there's no voiceless person in Nigeria. You either have a councillor speaking for you, a House of Reps member, a House of Assembly member, or a senator speaking for you. When we fail in our duties, we turn around and say somebody is voiceless. Why did you vote somebody to represent you at the House of Assembly? When an issue like that occurs, this is when the representatives of the people show leadership and organize the people, bring in lawyers who will come and say, this is what we are going to do for these people. So the question of being voiceless, I don't like that, because somebody is representing somebody somewhere. But the thing is, these people who were killed, it is their dependents that...
Well, I'm excited that you bring in this point, and we do hope that it should go beyond contributing monies to the people. The representatives of the people must speak. Speaking of which, talking about representatives, look at the representatives of Rivers State. Before I let you go, the Assembly, the people's representatives have all said, well, they're leaving the party on which they were elected by the people. So how does this pan out for politics of true representation?
Suleiman, as at today, 27 people have lost their seats in the Rivers State House of Assembly. As we speak, Section 868 of the Constitution, subsection G, is very clear. If you become the member of another political party when your tenure has not finished, you lose your seat. The word used is shall. Shall, that is, it leaves no option. That is why I wonder what our attorneys generals are doing. This, by now, the attorney general should have been in court to declare those things vacant, and they conduct fresh elections. People said, we like PDP. And you enter there to represent them under the banner of PDP. They know, you now vote for yourself and you say you want to go to APC. Go back to your house first. Contest under the banner of APC. And if you win, thank God. But if you lose, as you will lose, because we said we want you on PDP, when you lose, you go back to the home and you come back home and become farmers like us. It is a terrible thing. I don't know why this impunity keeps reoccurring in Nigeria. How can you be elected? And the law is so clear. I do not, the only thing that can make you change your political party, one of them is if there's a division in your party. Not in your party. APC, PDP, one party. Not what is happening in a local government or a state. No, in the party. If there's a division in APC, division.
All right.
Yes, that is the only time you can now say we are following, or there is a merger, or something like that.
So let's do this in 10 seconds. You're saying by our laws, it is okay for us to refer to 27 as former lawmakers.
Exactly. They are no longer. In fact, if they pass any law now, who will obey it?
Oba Maduabuchi, many thanks for your insights.
It's always a pleasure.